Back on the video. Y'all know how we do. Always pushing help, wealth, and a better understanding of self. So we got Trump going at Nigeria. You're gonna hear what both of them said. Appreciate everybody for tapping in. Salute, salute, salute. But yeah, I'm gonna go over Trump and Nigeria, but also I'm going to hit Trump did this 60-minute thing where he talk about everything that's going on. That just released, but right now let's get into Trump and Nigeria. Let me hear what he saying about that. Make sure y'all hit that like button. Push around the algorithm. Greatly appreciate it.
Immediately stop all aid and assistance to Nigeria and may very well go into that now disgraced country guns a-blazing to completely wipe out the Islamic terrorists who are committing these horrible atrocities. Paul Adamu is a Nigerian Christian who was kidnapped by Boko Haram 2 years ago. He joins us now. It's so wonderful to have you on the show. Please tell us what happened to you.
It was such a disheartening situation. 2 years ago, I was kidnapped by the dreaded Boko Haram along my way to the airport while I was traveling to Cameroon to meet some of my colleagues, and then I got kidnapped along the line, along the route.
And you were held for how long?
12 days.
Okay. And there are many people, especially young girls, who have been kidnapped by Boko Haram, put into forced marriages.
But I'm confused though. Like, this is done in Nigeria, right? I understand Trump saying why are we sending aid to other countries anyway? We can't even feed our own people in the country. It's just like, I don't see how this is our problem. Why don't they go to the government right there? I'm trying to.
Forced conversions, they're still in captivity. The situation there is quite dire. You heard what President Trump has said. Here's what Nigeria's president has said in response. He said that the characterization of Nigeria as religiously intolerant does not reflect our national reality, nor does it take into consideration the consistent and sincere efforts of the government to safeguard freedom of religion and beliefs for all Nigerians. What's your message?
Why are we? I'm saying, isn't that a Nigerian thing that country has to deal with? I'm still shocked on the aid. It's like it's like every country we already sending aid to. So if they don't act how we want them to act, we just pull the aid. And it's like, bro, we don't want to send our money to other countries.
What's it like to be a Christian in Nigeria?
First, I want to thank and applaud the United States of American President Donald Trump for designating Nigeria as a CPC, because this is one of the things that we have always wanted. For the message of the Nigerian president, that I think at this point, I will say that there is a time when propaganda has no appeal, where propaganda has lost an appeal. And this is actually the time, because whatever is happening,
they got him to go out there and talk, though. He on Fox. You already know.
In Nigeria at this moment, I would say that Nigeria is the worst place to be as a Christian, like the worst place in the whole of the world to be as a Christian, because we wake up every day with news of killings, every day with news of massacring of Christians. It's totally a genocide that is happening here in Nigeria.
Yo, this is cap, y'all. I mean, I don't see why Trump will go on the media. This just seemed like probably another money ploy, money grab. But we're still sending money to other countries. Is alarming.
There is nothing anybody will tell me, because I have been in here for as long as I know. I've been in these
Appreciate
places
you.
where these attacks have taken place, I've seen women who are crying for the loss of their husbands. I've seen children who are crying for the loss of their parents. I've seen parents who are crying for the loss of their children. I've been to churches that have been burnt down.
I'm starting to think that they're giving us everybody else so they don't have to deal with our problems. It's like we have problems right here. We tracing our lineage back to the 1400s. It's people that got records that's showing this, and everybody keep giving us that we supposed to be paying for everybody problems. All smoke and mirrors, right? It's like, man, I know because he's on
These
Fox,
are not
so
things
it's
that
like,
I've heard from the news or someone telling me. This is something that I've witnessed somewhere. I've been myself. I've witnessed where terrorism is at the highest point, where people are killed and slaughtered. Like,
this got me feeling like, you know how they used to have the commercials with the it's like y'all trying to sell us now. Like we got to get involved in a whole nother war that ain't got nothing to do with us. More money getting shipped. This is crazy.
chickens every day.
Paul, I don't have a lot of time left, but I just want to ask you one last question. How have you and other Christians kept the faith during this persecution?
We are grateful for the organization I work with, Irish Global, who have taken it upon themselves to.
Bro, they got them. Listen, I did a show and I talked about that how people from, if you're not from America, how like they can pretty much brainwash you, whitewash or whatever. So, and it happens a lot overseas in Africa, what we see. I did a live show and I showed y'all how a dude was, he was, I think he was from a country from Africa, but he was in UK and he didn't want to learn his own language and he had access to. But I'm gonna show y'all what Trump's saying.
Care for these
This is cap.
persecuted Christians by providing relief materials, emergency kits, and then also providing them with discipleship where they are being told that despite all that is happening to them, Christ still loves them.
Paul Adamu, just so you know, the African church, the Nigerian church in particular, the Christians there have been an amazing example of faith through persecution and martyrdom. And we are praying for all of you very much. And we hope the president will do something.
You know they broke him off a check, man. You know they gave him they probably gave that man $500, bro. And he was ready to just do whatever. This is why we can't believe what they Mr. Pothead. But check this out. Look what Trump's saying. Look what Trump is saying, and the Nigerian president did respond. I'm gonna get to that. But first, let me get to what Trump is saying about the presidency and everything, that how people been kind of pointing out what he been doing. Check this out. Watch him talk about. My point is, I don't want to hear no more people blaming the other party anymore, bro. It just makes me think you corrupted. All of that is just like, we already know both sides. We're gonna have to keep. They just finna just shut it down. You might as well just shut it down, because I mean, ain't nobody finna keep wanting to deal with it. We need to kick both of them. Tell the Trump sound like a little ass kid. Like you can see right through this. It's the Democrats. It's the Democrats. Like we ain't trying to hear that no more, bro. We just trying to solve problems at this point. And they just want to keep this problem going on so they can keep. We're gonna work with you. Sound like we're gonna use you. You know what I mean? And just to me, what y'all think about that? He's working with them. It's like, what are you? You're illegally in the country. Trump was pretty much making money here. I think if you had money and you wanted to pay to get out, I think he just making money and he letting everybody go. Not gonna attack Nigeria. Yeah, I think he pump faking. He definitely pump faking. But I mean, Trump ain't got no sense. I'm gonna go into now what the Nigerian Trump been going after, saying that he threatened Nigeria. But my point is, he can do this to a lot of different countries. As I showed y'all in my video, we giving a lot of different countries money. So you can just pull back aid. I just think it's not right to be giving everybody money for no reason. Like, but that's what he threatened. But I'm finna show y'all what they said is going on. You know, Africa is really pushing this, and a lot of Africans got something to say. Nigerians, we're gonna go over what they saying about it. But without further ado, let's hit what he said. The actual president. Check it out. Sure. All right. Okay, here we go.
All of a sudden, when the match is about to end, we had a two gunshot near this side. So everybody began to run. So what everybody's wondering, what is happening? What is happening? The things start then everybody begin to run.
About more than 30 persons who actually died on the spot yesterday.
So I'm gonna put this on y'all with it shows what Trump, but what y'all think? Yeah, we live. Shout out to Trail Jackson. I just put this, but I know Tania said this is definitely a smoke and mirrors, right? I know somebody else has said they pump faking. They're not actually doing this. But here's what some of the people that are saying this.
In Nigeria, if the West African nation fails to crack down on the killing of Christians. Trump said in a post on Truth Social that U.S. government will also immediately stop all aid and assistance to Nigeria, Africa's most populous nation and top oil producer, if the United States sends in military forces. It will go in, he says, guns are blazing to completely wipe out the Islamic terrorists who are committing horrible atrocities, Trump wrote. without providing any evidence of the specifics about the treatment of Christians in Nigeria. In the meantime, here is one of Nigeria's.
So he's saying that they don't have no proof of this. So this what the people in Nigeria like, this is all
leading religious leaders, Pastor Wale Adefarasin, the general overseer of the Garden Light Assembly, with their headquarters here in Lagos, with an interesting take on the issue of genocide against against Christians in Nigeria.
For the over 40 years that I have been a Christian, there have been killings in southern Kaduna, killings on the plateau. There have been riots. Sometimes, I think it was in France, an image of Prophet Muhammad was defaced. Who remembers that? And as a result of that, there were killings of Christians in Nigeria. And so it's nothing new. It doesn't amount to genocide. The way the West are talking about it, it's as if a Christian steps on the street, his head will be blown off. And I'm trying to understand this sudden love for Christians. Is it because we now have one of the largest refineries in the world and no longer have to ship raw materials abroad and bring the finished products? Or is it because of the 21st century minerals that we now have in our earth that are used to generate nuclear power for electric vehicles? Are those the reasons that our friends are threatening to invade our country to defend and protect Nigerian Christians? Selah.
In another development,
so basically, you know, they could be pulling the same stunt, just like with Gaza, just like with Afghanistan. They just find a reason, pay some actors, and then go in there and take over.
wave of reshufflements and retirements is set to hit Nigeria's armed services after last week's change of service chiefs by President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. No fewer than 60 senior officers, including generals who are currently above the newly selected service chiefs in hierarchy, are expected to proceed on compulsory retirement in the coming days. Military tradition dictates that once new service chiefs are appointed, the officers senior to them must exit the system to preserve professionalism, discipline, and command structure. Officers of the Nigerian Defense Academy, NDA regular courses 38 and 39, and a few from course 40 are expected to be impacted by the directive. Security and policy expert Dr. Kabir Adamu joins me now to consider the security implications of the Trump military threat against Nigeria and the spate of reshuffling and retirement in Nigeria's armed forces. Good to have you on the program, Dr. Kabir Adamu, and thank you for always obliging us when we call on you.
My pleasure, Dr. Abati. Good evening.
Okay, let's start with the Trump threat. Nigeria to be attacked, guns are blazing. Nigeria now being declared a country of particular concern with regard to religious freedom and what is called the persecution of Christians. Many of us have said, look, this is not about Christians. All lives matter. Christian lives matter, Muslim lives also matter. But what do you think?
Yeah, so Dr. Abati, the thing is this is not unsurprising for anyone who is either a student of international politics or has been in the domain of international politics. During his first tenure, the same thing happened. He imposed, or rather categorized Nigeria under the country of particular concern. Of course, when he lost the election, it was reversed by the Democrats. So now that he's back on the saddle of leadership as POTUS, 9 months into his presidency, we're seeing a repetition of that cycle. So frankly, I'm not surprised. And then all the indicators that would have told us that that is going to happen were there. As early as March this year, the US Congress did pass a resolution to that effect. In July, the United States Commission for International...
So basically what they saying is he did this before, he just pump faking, saying he gonna, they not gonna do nothing. But he still got, he's unpredictable. He in Venezuela sending money, sending money to Iran. They still sending money to the little hat. So it's like, you never know what Trump can do, in my opinion. But I think he do a lot of pump faking. But
Religious International Freedom, USCRIF, also released its report on Nigeria, and it was very clear in that report when it recommended for the categorization of Nigeria under the country of particular concern. Before then, we know that at least 6 congressional visits have taken place to Nigeria. Different senators, different parliamentarians from the US have visited Nigeria, and in most instances have gone to Benue, have gone to Plateau State. Yes, they will come back to Abuja, maybe sometimes go to Lagos and meet. But then, the fact that they are not going to Zamfara, they are not going to Katsina, will give you an indication of what kind of report they are going to give back. And of course, the US Embassy that also has a representation for USCRIF is also sharing its report. So we were not surprised. What is surprising, however, is this escalation to threaten to attack a sovereign state. This is completely against the rules-based system that we are used to, that the world has embraced. Another country cannot threaten, the sovereignty of another state over an allegation that it has not even allowed the other country to respond to. So clearly, there are other issues at play here. And one of the issues at play, Dr. Abati, is the domestic politics in the U.S. A lot of...
Now, I'll let y'all hear what Africa had to say, Trump. Now, I'm going to let you hear what an interesting perspective from an FBA brother. And he's explaining what he thinks Nigeria should do in this situation. I want to know what y'all think about this. But check this out. But he says on here that Nigeria should go nuclear. And I'm like, what? Check this out. I don't know if Nigeria have any nukes. I don't know. Y'all let me know. This is what some FBA is saying about it. Check it out.
And I may have to step away from a moment. I have some furniture being delivered, unfortunately, at random. So anyways, I yield the floor to you.
Thank you so much for this opportunity. There is currently a very great tragedy happening in Nigeria. There is a massacre going on. And I believe the real issue is that this massacre did not just start, even though for a lot of people, and even for a lot of Nigerians, they are just finding out about it. And, for that reason, I give accolades to Donald Trump. He spoke about it, and suddenly everyone cares. But I want to speak not only about the evil that is going on. I also want to speak to Nigerians because I want to speak caution into our minds. There is one thing. There is a strategy of imperialism, and it is divide and conquer. And I see it happening right now in Nigeria. It is something that we see that's happened in several other countries. that have supposedly gotten Western help. Is one thing I want us to understand is no country at all does things like this. No country intervenes in this manner out of the goodness of their heart, and certainly not the United States. I don't mean to say anything that sounds bad, but it is the truth. And there is a particular tactic that is currently being employed by Trump. I will say this again. Donald Trump has brought awareness to this issue in a way that no one else could. Our government almost did not care, did not highlight these issues, and even downplayed it up until this moment. But there is one thing that we have to understand is this is the first thing. I'm going to say it as straight as possible. Donald Trump is racist. Donald Trump doesn't like you. It doesn't. It is the truth. It is the truth. It doesn't. This is all it takes to understand that there is an agenda here is to.
Okay, so he going his agenda. Let me answer Mama Lisa question. You said we got 4 more years of Trump. I'm gonna let him go. He was cooking. Administration, do you think we're going to get 4 years because he started from day one? I mean, don't he got a year in already? So it's like 3 more years. I think you meaning that they saying is this gonna be the last of like the political party, but he may get impeached. I think he gonna last the 4 years unless something drastic happen, in my opinion.
Look at how he treats the people who look like you and I in his own country. There is no way he could treat the people like that in such a manner and love us because we are Christians. But everything about how he has addressed the issues screams that we should worry. And that is the honest truth. First thing is empathy is selective. There is domestic leverage. You know, he has this, there's domestic leverage. He has this white nationalist is the savior of Christianity around the world, and it is simply untrue. And stuff like this really works in places like Nigeria. We have a problem in Nigeria.
I'm going to interrupt you periodically for a number of reasons, and so I just want to give you a heads up on that.
Okay.
If you'd be kind enough to pronounce your last name for me once more.
Praye.
Oh, that's your last name. That's your last name.
Can you hear me? Oh, my last name?
Yes.
My last name is Bafade.
Bafade. Is that correct?
Yeah, that's
okay.
You can pronounce it really well. Thank you.
Yeah. Mr. Bafade.
Yeah.
When you say he brought awareness to this, you know, my fundamental question is that necessary and is that a good thing? Meaning that the awareness he brings is largely the awareness of Western powers, whether we're talking about the countries in the West or the NGOs that they operate through or the United Nations. And when you bring the awareness, of course, as you noted, it's not for altruistic purposes. It's usually for extractive purposes. And so that then emboldens the Western powers to then go into Nigeria to help, to spread democracy, to enhance freedom. And so the real question is bringing awareness of the Western powers, which is to say, is that a good thing? Is that going to be helpful?
Absolutely not. And I will get a lot of hate for saying that, probably because the truth is there is suffering. And one thing you will hear is, well, if your family were there, you wouldn't say this. And, maybe it is true. Maybe if my family were there, I wouldn't care about everything else that would follow. All I would care about. But this is extremely dangerous for our country. He outright said, and this is something to worry about when a foreign leader can say to a sovereign nation that he would not only cut aid, but if they do not respond, he would send his troops. That is reason to be concerned.
Absolutely.
And no one is concerned. We are eating it up. And it goes to show not just how pained the citizens are, but also how extremely uninformed we are of Western imperialistic foreign policy.
Fantastic. And that leads me to my next point. And I really appreciate where your head is at. I've traveled the continent widely, And unfortunately, I don't find many folks who are as well informed as you, not only from an information standpoint, but you're very well positioned and in terms of seeing the true threat that is ahead of you and I. So let me go ahead and pop up this slide deck, which we're going to populate as we go through. And this is really a historic moment in which we get to building, because unfortunately, I don't have the sense that people are working on this. So we're talking SAS in Africa, which is to say we have sections of the SAS all over the world, much higher penetration, obviously, in North America and Europe. And then we have significant presence in Asia and the Middle East. But Africa, we don't have the organization. We have the population, but not the organization. And so our big push is to start with SAS in Africa. And then as we collect higher numbers of saints in the continent, then it'll be more regionally focused, which will have more utility. And for example, there's a plan of expansion which goes as follows. So to start with, countries of focus, and this is in no particular order, and I'll explain why. We have Benin, Ghana, Nigeria, South Africa, Burkina Faso, Ethiopia. Reasons being, one of the, and I'm going to take this off the screen so we can have a little chat about this stuff. And there's so much context that people need. So this conversation will not be as linear as I would like. But like, for example, whereas in Europe, it's very easy to travel European country to European country, primarily on the rail system, and even the flights are very low cost. In the United States, the flights are expensive and the rail system is largely in disrepair or non-existent, but you can still move around fairly conveniently. In the African continent, many people may be unaware, but sometimes, say, if you want to go from South Africa to Nigeria, you'd have to fly from South Africa to Europe and then to Nigeria. Or if you're in Ethiopia, you might want to fly from Ethiopia to Rwanda. You have to fly from Ethiopia to the United Arab Emirates, the Dubai airport, and then to Rwanda or Uganda or what have you. So the connectedness of Africa from a travel perspective is not terribly well developed. And obviously that keeps people separate. And even obviously within countries, there's a level of separation. There's a particular reason I identified these countries, but before we dig into it, you have comments, questions before we dig into that?
So I just showed these to y'all to show that how Africa, how he see, both of them see this as a threat. I don't know what they're saying in the center, trying to sound like they're trying to set up something in Africa to help out or to fight the country. But his thumbnail title for this was Nigeria needs to go nuclear. Pretty much saying that they're gonna have to fight back with America, which is, I don't think they got that kind of, they got that power. But I want to know what y'all think in the comment section. But I didn't want to give y'all too much of it, but that's what we got going on with Trump and Nigeria. I want to know what y'all think. I don't know, a person with mental issues is not unpredictable. But shout out to my boy, Urban Politicians, man. He just put out a video to make me want to get the YouTube channel to where it's getting more vision. I'm already seeing that it's working. But Introvert Rockstar did one on, y'all know I always talk about, on the end of my videos, I always talk about, I got his book, Powernomics. Somebody not got me, but Powernomics, man. Claude Anderson. I want to go over how he challenged the pastor. Shout out to Introvert Rockstar. He dropped a video on this, but these pastors, billions of dollars a year is going through the black church, man, and we ain't even capitalize on something. But shout out to Claude Anderson, man. He's still living, still breathing, and still standing.
Is we let blacks have the churches? But we can always also, but we must pick the ministers, and we must license the ministers. We must pick ministers that we can control. No black preacher can come into America unless he is controlled by the white establishment, unless he represents our interests and our values, unless he teaches our form of Christianity. Now, this is very important. Why? Because you see, before, religion was always used to help a population group. When it comes to blacks, we cannot let religion be used to help them. You see, the Catholics, church took after care of all those groups who call themselves Catholics. And even today, you go into the conflicts in England or Ireland, where you see the Protestants and the Catholics fighting. I guarantee you that the Protestant members will be representing their people and protecting them. Only in America can I find black ministers who can be bought and sold to be against their own people. Nobody else will let you do that. No population will tolerate that except our people. And that's what I call inappropriate behavior. Inappropriate behavior pattern when you let your own ministers sell you out. It's not in your best interest. What I mean by sell you out is because by the early 1800s, the whites said, well, we're going to have black ministers. We're going to have to Christian them to make sure they do what we want to have done. They must teach Christianity the way we want it taught, to where it is an external control device on black folk.
I'm with you, Mama Lisa. Like, they've been putting so many people in front of us that I don't think nobody buying it no more. And I don't think Trump showed us. He talked the great talk. He was a great salesman that didn't deliver.
It's one of the rules. One, that every minister we license must teach black folk. If you talk about the slave and the master in the Bible, that you're talking about the white man and the black man on earth. Two, you must teach the minister must teach black folk that they're to be loyal, faithful, obedient, respectful, and all those other good things, and honest, so that white people don't have to worry about them stealing.
That's what I'm saying. Like, what he's saying is we got to understand the loyalty because it's people, other countries they be having so much loyalty for the, pride for where they come from, that we got to have that loyalty. Like, we're not signing up for that. We got a lot of Greek, followers that's doing a lot of stuff, but we don't represent our stuff. Check it out.
As a slave. Because black slaves had a nasty habit of going around stealing scraps of food because they were starving to death.
Hey, look, you already know on this channel we hold raccoons accountable, because if we don't, who will? And before we start this video, members, if you don't like black people, black issues, black talks, get to stepping. The black church in America generates an estimated $10 to $20 billion a year through tithes, donations, and community programs, making it one of the most influential black institutions in the country. Some reports suggest over $450 billion has circulated through black congregations since 1980, showing their massive economic footprint.
That is crazy. So you mean to tell me that the black church is the most strongest black institution, and we don't have? That's why the Black Panther Party got took down, because of this. Because that would have definitely, if we would have kept that, there's no way we would have had people that would have crossed over like this.
That makes sense. And before I spaz out in this video, shout out, thank you to the black churches and the black pastors that really care about our people. But Dr. Clark Anderson was right. We have to choose our pastors, because if we don't, the government does. Because let's keep it real. Let's be honest. Most of the black pastors work for the CIA, and their only mission is to rock our people to sleep, take all their money, and feed our people hope while they get rich over and over and over again. Matter of fact, I can show you better than I can tell you. Run the tape.
I'll tell you now, since y'all happy enough, that since it broke out Monday, we have received, one person called and he said, tell my name. He said, because I know God is in this. Tyler Perry said $100,000. Pastor Bishop Patrick Wilton, he said, I'm sowing and I have +1. So he and his son-in-law sent $2,000. We have received, I'll get all that over. I'm going to start this out by saying last Sunday was a record Sunday.
We had a record.
In one day.
While the economy's struggling right now, they cut food stamps. You got churches having the record, they having the best days. And ain't nothing happened with the community.
Hallelujah. This great church of which I am so proud to be a pastor. Hallelujah. We raised toward our buildings fund $525,768.
Make that make sense. So you telling me to go to your church, I have to pay a certain amount to sit and talk to God, listen to God, whatever you want to call it. To talk to God, I have to pay you a certain amount. I have to pay you $2,000. And if I don't pay you $2,000, you're going to try to embarrass me in front of the world, in front of social media, in front of the congregation. You're going to try to embarrass me. These the same churches that bring in $10 to $20 billion a year. These the same churches that sit in the goddamn hood. They sit in the middle of the goddamn hood. Tell me I'm lying. And then I say, wait. If Marvin Winans is bringing in this much money in donations, tithes, and offerings, everybody paying $1,000 a piece at least. They paying him $1,000 a piece. So if he's living this good, if he's doing this good, what about the people that live in the neighborhood surrounding that church? I wonder how they living. Check this out. Perfecting Church, led by Bishop Marvin Winans at 1716 East Nevada Street in Detroit, stands in a neighborhood heavily impacted by poverty and disinvestment. The area shows visible signs of struggle, vacant homes, overgrown lots, and stalled construction projects. Detroit's overall poverty rate is about 34%, and the community around the church reflects that reality. Perfecting Church operates amid these challenges, positioning itself as both a place of worship and a symbol of resilience in one of the city's hardest hit areas. Make that make sense. And I keep telling y'all over and over and over again, most of these black pastors are really our ops. How can you, as a bishop that's worth $5 million and you're getting donations up to $500K, but your community is suffering? The people in the neighborhood around your church is going through it. And just imagine the people that really depended on food stamps. And let's keep it real. These jobs don't pay shit. They only pay you to survive. They don't pay you to thrive. They only pay you to survive. And once they give you a raise, guess what? You're not the only one that got a raise. The government gets a raise too. Because guess what? They go jack up all the prices on the groceries. They go jack up your taxes. They go jack up everything. Tell me I'm lying. And these the same black churches our people supporting. These the same black pastors our people giving a last 10% to. So I'm a
last 10%. That's what I'm saying. It's crazy.
Ask y'all again, where is the black church now? Don't worry, I'll wait.
Shut up, bro. I was shocked when I moved it down.
And that money our people give to these black pastors that don't do anything for the people. That 10% our people give to these black pastors that don't give a damn. They only care about themselves. That money could have went to build black hospitals. That money could have went to build black schools. That money could have went to build black banks. That money could have went to build black.
We definitely need our own hospitals because the healthcare system is killing us, you know. And he right, we need our healthcare, but they're getting too much money for us to be not holding them accountable.
Grocery stores, and I can go on and on. Modern day Black Wall Street, but instead, you know what these fake ass pastors do? They buy mansions. These fake ass pastors buy luxury cars. These fake ass pastors buy designer clothes. And if y'all feel like I'm tripping, don't be scared. In my comment section, tell me I'm tripping. And I'm going to ask y'all again, with food stamps being cut off, with our people being laid off, where is the black church? So I decided to go on TD Jake's Instagram account, and he's on there hugging politicians and having secret meetings. And I noticed something. His comment section is turned off. And then I went to Marvin Sapp's Instagram account, Mr. Close the Doors. His comment section is turned off. And he's not talking about anything with helping the people, about what's going on with SNAP, what's going on with everything. He's not talking about anything. This dude got a whole Dolce and Gabbana, whatever you call that shit, Dolce and Gabbana shirt on. He don't give a damn about what's happening. And I'm gonna tell y'all why they comment section turned off. It's because people are calling them out, but they don't want the people in their church to see that, because that stops their money. They will never just be out there consistently giving people stuff. They might do it for one Sunday.
That boy called the Mr. Close the Doors. Hey, but listen, what's crazy what he breaking up though is all of this money, right? They don't want us to ask them like, man, y'all ain't gonna help out with the food. I mean, it's all of this stuff going on, so they're just gonna turn the comments
on the first Sunday. They might did it today because today is Sunday. They probably did something today, but it's not gonna be consistent because they have to keep making money. They really in business. Why does God always need my money when I come to your church? Why does Jesus always need my money when I come to your church? Why? And then I noticed something. Marvin Sapp, Marvin Winans, they both have a church in Michigan. Let me find out that these black pastors going to Michigan and Atlanta just to manipulate our people, just to fool our people. Let me find out, because I don't know about y'all, but y'all don't find this shit suspicious, because I know I do. In 2025, black churches, like all U.S. churches, are tax exempt under federal law. They don't pay taxes on donations or worship-related income, and most states also exempt their property. However,
and let me tell y'all this. This is a story that I learned. It was somebody, right? I'm in the water industry, and they had a church, and in the church, they had a call center in the church. So the business was ran through the church. It wasn't a black guy. It was a white dude. But still, I'm like, dang, tax-free. It's like a church. People who are in business, they using these churches for business. So if you make money through the church, you ain't got to pay them taxes. 501c3.
If a church runs business activities unrelated to its religious mission, that income can be taxed. Church employees still pay regular income and payroll taxes. Make sense. So that's why you never see these pastors speak on real issues. How many times you gonna talk about the 12 disciples, but you never bring up these hospitals and these goddamn doctors that murder black women while they're in labor? How many times you gonna talk about Noah and his ark, Peter, Paul, and Mary, but you never talk about black men that's being murdered by prison workers, black men that's being murdered by these goddamn cops? And I can go on and on. These pastors sold us out a long time ago. Tell me I'm lying. Yeah. So before I end this video, y'all already know I have to speak from the heart before I end this video. It's a movie I watch every other month just to keep me sharp, just to remind me what's really going on. Every time I watch it, I learn something new. They cloned Tyrone. And it was two scenes where they went to this church. The drunk man told them, he asked them, where do you go when you want to find the answers? And they went to the church. So the first scene, they went to the church and they noticed everyone was drinking the grape juice. It was the first Sunday. So you drink the grape juice and you eat the bread, whatever. So they were drinking the grape juice. So the government, the CIA, the racist Caucasian people, whatever you call them, the ones who were studying our people, cloning our people, they put something in the grape juice just to have the people dancing, catching the Holy Ghost. The pastor was saying everything they wanted to hear. The pastor was saying everything the people wanted to hear to rock them to sleep, to keep them dancing, not worrying about what's going on in the real world, keeping them in like an illusion. So the second time they go to the church, it was something under the church. So he had the card that he stole out of the van. He swiped the card, it was next to the pulpit, and the back of the church opened up. It was an elevator, and the elevator went down. Underneath the church, they was cloning black people. Underneath the church, they were studying black people. So that tells me everything I need to know. I told y'all, in these movies, it's a lot of truth in these movies. They want you to think these movies are far-fetched. It's a lot of lying. No, it's a lot of truth in these movies. Under the church, the elevator went under the church, dog, and that was the headquarters where they was cloning black people, where they was studying black people. So today, I tell my people, look, anyone that's playing in our faces, let's stop supporting them. If these churches ain't supporting our people when our people need them, after our people have been giving them their last 10% every goddamn week, every week our people been giving them 10%, and they can't help people when the food stamps are being cut off. And look, I'm gonna talk about food stamps. We need to stop depending on these people altogether.
Period. Yeah, at all.
We need to stop depending on these people altogether because they know we depend on them. They want us to depend on them. They want us to cry about the food stamps. They want us to cry about everything. I say we stop giving a damn and we go back to the Harlem Renaissance days. We go back to our ancestors after slavery. What they did, they was owning their land. They was buying their homes. They was owning stuff. Black Wall Street, Oscarville, Georgia, their own black towns. We need to get back to that because they want us to cry about food stamps. They want us to cry about all this shit. We need to go back to the days of the Harlem Renaissance when Caucasian people was going through the Great Depression. Our people was thriving because we had our own. You know what? I'm gonna let a black woman talk to y'all. I'm out.
If the food stamps get cut off in November, why are we waiting to see what the churches are going to do? We don't need to wait. We already see what they have and have not been doing. They've been taking up 1,000 on top of 1,000, yet the most churched people in the world are still on that program. And even if they don't go to your church, sir or ma'am, they're still a part of your community. With as much money that has been taken up, what's going to happen is some churches are going to show up in November to save face, to try to prove that the church is still relevant and we're not like the others. Other pastors are going to fuss from that pulpit, y'all. I keep saying pit. Pulpit, it's going to be in my book. And they're going to say things like, we can't help the community because y'all haven't been giving. You haven't been giving 1,000 on top of 1,000 on top of 1 million. You're standing in the wrong line. That's why we can't help the community. You're not standing in the line that I told you to stand in. The poor have been with us always. The needy have been with us always. The hungry have always been with us. And that's sad if they're taking up billions and billions of dollars every year. So instead of saying, let's see what the churches are going to do, let's see what we're going to do. Keep your money if you've been tithing and giving offering. And if you see other people that need help, let's help ourselves. Let's help each other. Forget them. They haven't thought about y'all in years, decades. So don't think about them. Let's think about ourselves, feed ourselves, and feed each
other. Facts.
All right, peace.
All right, y'all. Hold on. It's all good. Yeah, I'm with it, man. We got to feed ourselves. We can't even get caught up with all the list. But all we got to do is partner up with each other and get that Willie Lynch syndrome out the way. But that's what I got for this video today, y'all, man. Trump, Nigeria. We got a little bit of what's going on in FBAs with these churches. We standing on business, but man, make sure y'all smash that like button for me, push me on the algorithm. I'm since I done this click working, I'm gonna be trying to make sure I go live a lot more often. Make sure y'all tap in because I'm trying to build a community here on this page to where we are coming together and doing things to set an example. So we know that we partnering together, we doing things, and we can set the example so everybody can see. So y'all stay tuned on that. We're trying to put it together. But we talk too much. We need to learn to move in silence for real. Not on this, but that's what I'm saying. We still gotta come together because we'll just be saying it and we ain't putting together. But I love and appreciate y'all, man. I'm gonna be live on here more often, so we're gonna be able to rap, but we're gonna have to be moving silence, like Master P said. But I'm a dang sure be looking forward to speaking with y'all. I appreciate all y'all. Shout out to Jarvis. Shout out to Mama Lisa, man. James Harbin looking at. Definitely Call Dog and everybody who was tapped in. Tina. Tania Marie. I appreciate y'all. So listen, y'all check me out tomorrow. I hope y'all getting your notifications, man. I appreciate, love y'all. Catch y'all in the next one. Peace and love.